isn't just muscle or might. It's the willpower that drives you to fight.
Good afternoon and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2025 European Open Classic Powerlifting Championships here in sunny Malaga, Spain. I am Emilio Potter, joined by Alexander Nodin.
Very pleased to be here, and what a championship it's been so far.
Yeah, we've seen world record attempts, successful and unsuccessful. We've seen battles, we've seen upsets, and the rest of the championships promises the same, I am sure. This afternoon for you, we have the 63 kilo and 69 kilo A groups, having seen the B groups this morning. So we'll see the numbers jump around a lot, but the running order for the 63s as it stands in a flight of 7, as the Georgian lifter Sapika is not competing today, a slightly shorter flight, but some huge squats on the board nonetheless. The heaviest opener being 182.5. The European and world record saying 213 kilos.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a fast-paced a group for these ladies, and then we'll have an 11 group of lifters for the 69A group.
And kicking us off, we have Clara Holo from Belgium. 150 kilos.
Coached by none other than the winner of the 105 yesterday, the one and only Coco Clement.
Wow, an extremely deep squat there from Clara.
No doubts there. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, lovely looking opener.
It's pretty rare to see that much of a low bar being that deep.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same, especially with that narrow stance. So she does really well to get into that position.
Yeah, very specific squat technique for her.
Now coming out on home soil, Inmaculada Soto Ruiz from Spain, 157.5 kilos on the bar. Pretty recently out the juniors. This is her second year as an open at 25 years old. Looks strong.
Yeah, 3 white lights, a good lift.
Although we've had some dramatic opening attempts this championship so far, usually we'd expect them to be pretty stress-free. I don't think Inmaculada wants to squat any higher than that on her next.
Yeah, this is just what I was looking at. I think you got me there.
Sabrina Downs from Great Britain, 162.5 kilos. 11 years of competitive experience, no stranger to the international platform. Currently in prognosis, nominated in 3rd.
Pretty snappy opener.
Really nice, and a good lift. Only 10 kilos below her personal best, so seems like she's looking strong today.
Bars loaded at 170 kilos for Lalim, Belgium.
We now have Saïla Lim from Belgium, 170 kilos. Again, another lifter lifting 10 kilos below her personal best. Now the world and European M1 squat record is 180.5 kilos, and Lalim is a Masters 1. Let's see how this moves.
Oh, I think she's looking strong today.
Yeah, I was hesitant to say anything because it looked a tad north of the border of depth. So let's have a look at that again on the replay. And hopefully I was not right. It looks a little bit better there, I have to say.
Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised, but we have a 5-man jury. We'll see if they intend to overrule it or not.
Now we have Makeda Vidal from Great Britain, 175 kilos. Currently nominated in 4th overall, but very, very close to that podium. So he's going to be chasing that position today, I think. Wow.
Great squat technique.
Yeah, and it's very comfortable. Didn't really seem to bother her too much at all.
I know this is only the opener, but she might make a case for her in the race for the podium.
Yeah, I can absolutely see that happening.
180 kilos for the Netherlands.
Kaylee Sue Denise from the Netherlands, 180 kilo, and a huge threat for the crown. Really, she is hers to lose. She's 20 kilos ahead of the next best lifter on prognosis. Has a personal best of 193 kilos.
Yeah, it's really hers to lose today. She needs to play it small, however, like Christian did yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. Just take what you can. No need to make huge risks. Again, another really deep squatter.
Yeah, pretty right. Let's say good lift. I don't think there were any doubts.
Hello, Soto Ruiz, get ready as we move to round 2 after Federica, and the bar is loaded for Casagrande, Italy.
Our final opening attempt belonging to Federica Casagrande from Italy with 182.5 kilos. Just 7.5 below her personal best.
Yeah, I think these Italian girls have proven to be great squatters. I'm not surprised to see an Italian close out.
No, absolutely
the
not.
squat openers.
Following in the footsteps, of course, of Carola Gara.
Absolutely. And we'll see another great squatter from Italy in the 69s later on. Very deep, but not as fast as the previous openers. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, and sometimes lifters do just come out and they somewhat oversync their openers. They aren't sure how the refereeing is. Or perhaps that's just her style. She has some big quads on her, wants to make sure the referees can see. That concludes the opening attempts with all but one lifter getting a squat on the board. We move through to the second round of squats now with Clara Hallo from Belgium, 160 kilos.
Only 6 kilos off our Belgian record of 166.
Still just as deep before. Really, really nice.
And we know that that low bar can get grindy. So pretty difficult to judge how much there's left for Clara. Only pretty much her and her coach would know.
Yeah, I think 5 kilos would be a good bet. 7.5, maybe more on the risky side, but depends how they want to push it. And Maclada Soto Ruiz from Spain, 165 kilos, definitely in that fight at the top for podium. Has an excellent deadlift on her.
Yeah, as we speak, it's looking to be a fight between her and Makeda Vidal from GB for that third spot, but still a lot of powerlifting to go.
Manages to stand it up again Let's hope she maintains that depth. Yep, 2-1, a good lift. Does get called on depth this time round, so we'll have a look again in the replay. I was saying she doesn't want to squat any higher than that opener.
And this is the squat she gets a red card from.
And the jury are in discussion about that.
And the jury has overruled. It will be ruled a no lid for Inmaculada Soto Ruiz from Spain.
Sabrina Downs of Great Britain, 170 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump from her opener.
She had maybe the most convincing opener.
And still moving well there for Downs.
Yeah, she stands strong.
3-1 light for a good lift. 175 on the bar for Sayuri Laline, Belgium.
That looks good there. I imagine to see a 5 kilo jump from Sabrina. Collecting all the kilos she can, like we said, fighting for one of those top positions. Now, Sayla Lim from Belgium, 175 kilos, decided to still go up as, you know, if any of those top 4 do slip, she has got a shot of the podium. Prognosis currently only about 12.5 kilos behind the podium, so...
Yeah, she needs to cut the suspense. We want Scream Lalim to be on the board. That did look a bit better.
Let's hope it is. Certainly still very strong. There we go. 3 white lights, a good lift. She's on the board, and the risk of jumping 5 kilos pays off.
Are we going to see a World's Master 1 record attempt?
I think we might. She can't chip it, obviously, as it's an open championships, but we'll have to wait and see what she wants to do. She would have to jump 7.5 kilos for that.
Yeah, that's why I would be on the fence for that decision.
Looks like they have 185 kilos for Makeda Vidal from Great Britain, a 10 kilo jump. This takes her into squat gold for the time being, with Denise and Casagranda to follow. Complete control over the bar the entire time. A lovely squat.
Yeah, she looked great. Maintained technique perfectly. 3 white lights, well deserved.
Netherlands now. Casagranda and Hollow get ready. Last 2 lifts in round 2. All of these ladies are taking the squat.
For the time being, she moves into squat gold. Still 2 lifters to go before the 3rd round, the first of which, Kaylee Sue Denise from the Netherlands, 187.5 kilos, to move from squat bronze into gold, with Casagranda to follow. Denise, the lightest of the 3.
Some great squat action. 3 white lights for Kelly Sue. This was more difficult than anticipated maybe, but still. Great squat for 63.
We're about to find out because the bar is loaded. 190 kilos for Federica Casagranda.
And looking to move back into pole position for squats, Federica Casagranda of Italy with 190 kilos, matching her personal best here on her 2nd attempt.
We're looking to see whether or not that was her usual squat technique during the first attempt. She had a bit of a segmented concentric squat. So we'll have a look at that right now.
Great power through that. Built differently in Italy.
Yeah, 3 white lights, a good lift. Spain was the nation of squat for the men's. Is it Italy for the women's?
It certainly could be based on what we're seeing. It's a lovely squat. That concludes the second round of squats for the 63s. We head into the final round to see who walks away with which squat medal before then moving into the 69s.
Already
Casagrande currently
third
leading
round.
with 190. Yeah, it's a quick moving fight. Clara Holler from Belgium, 165 on the bar.
The sensible decision, I think.
Yeah, I would say so. A kilo below her national record, but taking what she has on the day, we spoke about this 5 kilo jump being probably the smarter one.
Yeah, considering it's her first time in the A group as an open, it's a smart decision. Trying to go 3 for 3 in the squat event for Clara Holler.
Yeah, it's a lovely third attempt.
Yeah, good lift, 3 white lights. 167.5 on the bar for Inmaculada Soto, Ruiz, España, Downs, La
And Coco in the stands seems to be satisfied with that one.
167.5 kilos for Soto, Ruiz, España, vamos!
And now Immaculada Soto Ruiz didn't get her second attempt. It was overturned by the jury and on account of not quite deep enough. We were worried she was teetering towards that on her opener, but was just sinking it enough. It's gone up 2.5 kilos anyway, looking to get as many as she can as she's in the fight for overall and needs to keep pace with the others.
It was not as deep as expected, and it was not easy. So 2.5 more.
Oh, it's a huge fight. It looks like she's going to break through, and she does. Wow.
If she gets that one, that's massive.
2-1, a good lift. Does get a depth call, so we'll hold our breath for a second, but it certainly looked better than her second.
Look at that grind.
Yeah, phenomenal effort there. Team Spain saying, no, we're still the nation of
That's
squats,
what I was
actually.
going to say. We deserve that nickname, the nation of squat.
Sabrina Downs from Great Britain, 175 kilos for a new personal best, and 3 red plates aside is a huge milestone squat.
That bar does look good.
Putting herself in a very convincing position for silver overall.
She's been looking strong so far. And a personal best with 11 years competing is a great achievement. Let's see it, Sabrina. Oh, she has that.
That's a phenomenal final squat from Sabrina. 2-1, a good lift.
2-1, a good lift for Sabrina Downs. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's get a depth call there. We'll have a look at that again in the replay. That seems good to me.
I think that was convincing enough for the jury not to intervene.
Now, we were wondering if she would go for that world M1 squat record, and she is. Sai, the Scream Lalim from Belgium, 182.5 kilos to extend the World Masters 1 record by 2 kilos. 7.5 kilo jump from her second. And it's strong.
That was her best squat so far. New World Master 1 record in this squat event for Scream Lalim from Belgium.
Giving us a little example of why she's called Sai the Scream Lalim as she comes off there.
Very impressive.
Now we know who's going to be on the squat podium, but we don't quite know the order yet. So Makeda Vidal comes out now with 192.5 to take her into squat gold. Her current personal best is 185.5, which is a British record. So 7.5 kilo jump, a huge personal best should she make this, of 7 kilos.
In the race for the podium, this one's important because squat is where she makes a great chunk of her total. still very controlled.
Yeah, that is an excellent third squat. I am telling you now, do not sleep on Makeda Vidal. I think she may surprise us as the competition goes on.
Yup. Do not sleep on her. 3 for 3 and a medal in the squat event.
Currently it is gold, but that is subject to change as Kaylee Sue Denise from the Netherlands comes out for 192.5. As I said, she is lighter than Vidal, so we'll knock her down for silver for the time being. Of course, bronze is already secured.
This is the closest it can get to our personal best of 193. It's gonna be hard, but it is doable for Katie Sue.
Another phenomenal final squat there. And a good lift, 3 white lights, and moves into squat gold on body weight.
Provisional gold medal, however. Here comes Casagrande for
Like we said, it's hers to lose, and she is showing us why.
Oh yeah, she's standing on business.
And now our final squat of the 63 kilo class, Federica Casagrande from Italy to move from squat bronze into squat gold. 195 kilos would be a personal best for Casagrande. It would obviously take that squat gold away from Denise.
It's there, keep pushing, and not a grinder.
Really frustrating place to get stuck there. It's so high up, but a phenomenal effort nonetheless, and already has squat bronze secured.
That was a great squat session.
Yeah, excellent, and I'm sure we will see more fantastic squats to come very soon, but a quick summary. With 190 in squat bronze, Casagrande from Italy. In silver, 192.5 for Great Britain's Makeda Vidal. And in squat gold, we have Kaylee Sue Denise with 192.5 from the Netherlands.
And notable mention, the world Master 1 record for Scream Lenin from Belgium.
Yes, absolutely, which was set a year ago in Malaga. So,
I mean,
as if it's fate.
Spain's really is the country of squat then.
Apparently, I guess so. We head now into the 69s, and you can see some huge squat attempts here on the board. Leading us out, we have Tasman Campbell from Great Britain, 172.5. Worth mentioning as well, the World Masters squat record is 188 in the 69s. Tasman now an M1, opening with 172.5. Tasman also a threat for podium overall, so looking to get as much as you can out of her squat.
Three white lights, a good lift, solid opener.
Yeah, very solid there.
Loaded, 172.5 kilos for Van Vienen, Netherlands.
Romy van Vienen from the Netherlands, 172.5. Nice smooth opener there.
One thing to note in this class of the 69 is that the winner is going to make a strong case for herself and the best lifter overall. For now it is Sylvain Pal from France, but we'll see later on in the day. she could very much be surpassed by one of these 69s.
Bars loaded at 175
We now have
kilos.
Raffaella Jungmann from Austria, 175 kilos. There's a personal best of 186.5, opening quite close to that with 175. Wow, very snappy opener from Jungmann.
That's 2 to 1.
2 to 1, a record from the chief referee. Is that a case of a lifter that looks pretty poor from the front, but very convincing from the sides?
Yeah, it is adaptable from the front, but yeah, it looks good from the sides.
I agree. Convincing enough from the sides.
Marie-Joos van Daal from the Netherlands, 177.5 kilos.
Very deep squat.
Yeah, I hit the hole really hard and I was worried she'd lose tension, but actually it looked really, really clean. 3 white lights, a good lift.
And if she keeps on looking good today, she might aim for the podium. She's nominated 5th, forecasted 5th, but we'll see.
Now a face we all recognize. We have Ivana Horner from Slovakia, opening with 180 kilos. I would not count her off the podium by any means.
Quite difficult for an opener.
Yeah, I have in the past seen Ivana grind through some difficult lifts before. We'll have to see whether that is the case today or whether it was a difficult opener, but nonetheless she is on the board. Now Martha Jenner from Norway, 180 kilos on the bar. Currently in prognosis in 5th, but don't let that fool you. On nominations, well ahead in 1st.
If you would have to call someone the favorite, I think she would be.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big fight between
her, Andorina, Georgia Silvia.
Yeah, there's a few names, and with openers like that, you can't count her out in any means.
I mean, if you like powerlifting, you're gonna like Marta Chiana.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at that again.
That was supposed to be a bit slowed down. It doesn't look slowed down at all.
Daria Iskiv from Ukraine, 185 kilos.
Opening very high.
Yeah, half a kilo below her personal best. 26 years old, 15 years of competitive experience.
Training must have been superb for her to open the high. Or they're just playing it aggressively here. 2 to 1, a good lift, but lack of depth for the chief referee.
Yeah, and some countries and lifters do just use the competitive technique of opening close to your max and then pushing up ever so slightly rather than the bigger jumps. It's really a preference thing. So that might be the case here.
It might.
And Dorina Bouchou from France, 192.5 kilos. This is just 6 kilos below her squat PB.
She got crowned European Junior Champion last year in Pilsen. Now stepping into the Opens.
Yeah, still as a junior, however, as it stands, 23 years old. Wow. That's a lovely opener.
Yep, 3 white lights, a good lift.
Good lift for Shu. 192.5 on the bar for Jordan Bright, Ireland. Berton and Sorman, get ready. Bar is loaded.
3 more openers to go.
Ireland.
And now seems to be a crowd favorite. Jordan Bright from Ireland, 192.5 kilos. A definite threat for a squat medal here. A PB of 200.
I like the fact that the Irish always bring the energy.
I believe hit 200 for the first time at the most recent Irish Nationals.
It looks fast.
And 3 white lights, a good lift, a very tidy squatter.
195 on the bar. For Georgia, Sylvia Berton of Italy, Sorman and Campbell to get ready. Bar is loaded. 195.
Lovely opener there from Bright.
Italy.
Our heaviest opener of the flight, we have Georgia Silvia Burton from Italy, 195 kilos, as you alluded to before, another big Italian squatter here.
She was fighting with Andorina for the title last year in Pilsen, looking for the rematch. Another great opener.
Yeah, lovely clean opener there from Georgia. It is a good lift. Let's have a look at that again in the replay. I'm looking forward to seeing where she may end up on that squat today.
Now we have somewhat of a
Yes.
situation.
So
We have
what
a
happened?
technical problem.
What happened was her opener is 170, so she should have gone already, but it got input wrong as 180. So the coach had to run to the jury and amend that. So it means she's going at the end of the flight now. She might have to follow herself depending on her jump, and I think if that is the case, she'll get 3 or so minutes to rest and then complete it within those 3 minutes. But still a pretty fast turnover. Elsa Sorman Poulsen from Sweden, 170 kilos.
Hopefully this one's easy.
And
Yep.
it is, yeah.
Don't doubt the Swedish.
All look good. 3 white lights. So now we wait to see
So what's going to be her next attempt is really the question.
I mean, honestly, it seems like it would probably be around 180, which means that she may lift next or after Tasman. That's what I'm guessing. And if that is the case, of course, we will have that slight break to accommodate her. The Swedish team putting in the numbers then. We have Burton instantly leading the squats with her opener with 195. Bright instantly in second with 192.5. Still holding on from the B group earlier. Matrek with 192.5 on body weight. Head of Bouchou, who of course still has her second and third attempts to go. So some absolutely mammoth squatters in the 69s, both groups, A and B.
The number is sub 180, I believe.
So it seems like 177.5 is what she's jumping to, which seems about right. I said 180 was the max we'd probably see her jump to. And we're going to have a 4-minute timer.
What a great time to talk about some of our sponsors then.
Absolutely fantastic. A great segue for us there. We have very much a good amount of time to talk about our sponsors. Visit Malta, ESN, Maniac Fitness, SBD, Without them, none of this would be possible. We can see the Maniac rack on the platform.
In the warm-up room, fully equipped with 7 brand new combo racks from Maniac, 7 brand new bars and only calibrated plates.
We have ESN, they have a stand here, and they have been saving me in between every session with some protein samples.
Yeah, me too.
SBD, we see a lot of the singlets. Like I said the other day, my favorite game is Spot the New Country singlet. So
Yeah, some top-notch lifting equipment, belt, wrist wraps, knee sleeves, everything you can dream of to be the best powerlifter you can be. They have a booth here you can try things on, and they have a special edition shirt of the competition looking fantastic.
So, like we were saying before, the 69s isn't quite as clear cut in terms of who's going to win. There are a few names in there. We have Bouchou from France, currently nominated in first on prognosis, but just 2.5 kilos behind. We have Martha Jenner. And just 5 kilos behind her, we have Van Douw from the Netherlands. And then at the same prognosis at a heavier body weight, Campbell from Great Britain.
Yeah, Van Damme might be a sleeper in the class. We've seen her pull crazy things in the past. She's won the University Cup multiple times. She's the record holder in the FISU, so I won't count her out.
Yeah, and just 5 kilos behind her, we have Ivana Horner from Slovakia. And just 5 kilos behind her, we have Georgia Burton. So
It's a tight class.
yeah, between first and seventh, there's 17.5 kilos, which right now feels like a wide spread, but we've had one lift.
It's pretty much one jump. So
Yeah, so at this point, it really is anybody's game, and it's going to be a case of who can make the most lifts. You know, it's a game of 9 attempts, and it's well worth the coaches remembering that it is a long game.
yeah, if you miss, you might be dropping down 4 places. So you need to be conservative, play the long game, and see what you have on the day to build the total in the 69 kilo class.
So just to talk about the Swedish lifter Elsa Solman Paulsen, you know, she has a PB of 182.5, which I imagine, should this go well, is where she will end up. She has a 4-minute timer on, and that's not counting down to when she can then start going on. She has to squat within the 4 minutes, so really she can come out at any time. She could have come out with 3 minutes to spare, obviously.
Which have been
Yeah,
hard.
and we can see her getting ready here, I think. Gonna go out.
Yes, she's looking forward to get the squat women within the minutes.
Yeah, and the opener was very comfortable for her. I think it was good to hedge their bets at the 7.5 kilo jump, as the turnover would be slightly quicker than if she had the whole flight to wait.
Yeah, and after this one, she'll get something like 9 minutes of rest, so that will be better for her.
And the coach begins the support, and the crowd continues it. 177.5 for Elsa Solman Paulsen from Sweden. For a bit of a dramatic start.
More difficult, but to be expected with only 4 minutes rest.
Yeah, and she does a really good job of that. I think if she has a much longer rest now, but I think the safe maybe 180.
Yeah, I think so.
She could also go for a matched personal best with 182, depending how much she wants to push that.
For your pleasure. Well, actually, so she can try to win a competition as well. But Youngman and Van Vianen get ready.
It has been Campbell from Great Britain taking a 7.5 kilo jump to match her personal best. Sorry, 2.5 kilos below her personal best, 180.
We'll see that a lot in the group.
Like I
Many
said,
7.5 kilo jump, and many of them are pacing towards a personal best.
yeah, like we said, one of those contenders at the top between first and seventh. There's a lot going on. And currently in prognosis in fourth. I don't think she cares so much about that World Masters record, but more just collecting all the kilos she can.
2-1, a good lift, a red card from the left side referee, so that would be the side we get on the replay.
Rafaela Jungmann, Austria, Österreich. Van Vianen, Van Daal, get ready.
I think that was borderline, but keep in mind that a lifter can very much be asymmetrical, so one hip lower than the other, and I think that's the case here.
Rafaela Jungmann from Austria, 182.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump from her opener, leaving her 4 kilos from her personal best.
Does she look bad from the front? Yes, she does. Exactly the same scenario as her opener. I don't think she should be worried there.
Yeah, we'll have a look again at the replay. I can see the jury peering at it as well. And they seem happy with it. I think just one of those narrow stance lifters, and it's hard to tell from the front. Romy van Veen then from the Netherlands, 182.5 kilos, taking a 10 kilo jump.
Lovely second attempt for Romy van Veen. 3 white lights, a good lift. Not much you can ask for a second attempt. Perfect to pace towards a nice third. Easy to gauge what you have left. Great call.
Followed in 187.5 for Van Daal of the Netherlands.
Marie Joyce van Daal from the Netherlands, 187.5 kilo to match her personal best. 10 kilo jump from her opener.
Still so young. I wouldn't be surprised to see her make great improvements on the platform. That second attempt will tell us a lot.
There we go. That deep dive into the squat and that powerful stand up. 3 white lights, a good lift. And as I said, and I could say this obviously about half of the flight or more than half the flight, but a contender for podium. You know it's a good session when more than half the flight are fighting for that podium spot.
Especially when it's an 11 lifter group and half of them are competing for the podium.
Ivana Horner from Slovakia, 187.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump. Now this matches her personal best, and we were wondering if the opener was hard or it's just how she's squatting at the moment. Yeah, and as I said, she can really grind through squats when she needs to.
Yeah, 3 white lights and a good lift for Ivana Horner. 190 on the bar for Daria Iski, Ukraine. Jenna Bushu, get ready. Bar is loaded. 190 kilos.
That's a good lift, 3 white lights.
It did move like a third, but maybe she can kick in another gear and a super grind is in the course for her, but I would not load more than 2.5 onto that.
Daria Iski from Ukraine, 190 kilos, 5 kilo jump and a 4.5 kilo personal best, should she make this.
So maybe a new Ukrainian record? Oh, I think she just lost her bar path. She did look strong enough to do this. We'll have a look at the replay to try and figure out what happened. Do you see anything specific, Amelia?
Not so much. She tends to dive very quickly into the hole, which means she might just lose some tension rather than she control the bar a bit more. But if that's her style, she just may run out of steam. Martha Jenner from Norway, 190 kilos, a 10 kilo jump from her opener. And it was maybe the quickest opener we saw.
I agree. It's still moving great.
3 white lights and a good lift for Jenna.
That's 3 white lights, a good lift for Jenna.
Bright baton, get ready, last 3 lifts in round 2. The bar is loaded at 200 kilos for Andolina Bouchou. Bar chargé.
Andorina Bouchou from France, 200 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump. This leaves her 2.5 kilos off of that world junior squat record. She is 23 years old, she's still a junior and still eligible. I think if this goes well, I can only imagine her surpassing that on her third.
That's a massive milestone, 200 kilo squat. Difficult but great reaction out of the hole. 3 white lights for Andorina Bouchou.
200 on the bar for Jordan Bright, Ireland, Berton. Solman, get ready.
Yeah, so I think we either see the world record matched or maybe just 2.5 kilos above it, but if they're looking to collect all their kilos they can, maybe they're looking just to match it today.
I think that's the right move.
Jordan Bright from Ireland, 200 kilos. This will take her into squat gold for the time being, with only Georgia Sylvia Burton to follow.
We have 3 squats in the 200s in the second round of the 69s.
And
that's crazy.
This is Jordan's personal best currently, matching it on her second. Wow. Still so much left in the tank there.
2-1, a red card from the left side referee. But it looks so comfortable for her.
Yeah, very much the style when she squats. Very upright.
It does look borderline from that side, but the jury will need to be unanimous to overturn, and I don't think that will be the case.
Oh, no, they're not even discussing it, so they seem pretty happy with Jordan's squat there. Georgia Sylvia Burton from Italy, 202.5 kilos, matching the junior world record, but now she is aged out officially this year. But this will move her into squat gold, heading into the third round of squats.
And if I remember correctly, I think the record is hers. More of a fight, but that wasn't bad by any means. 3 white lights, a great second attempt out of Georgia Sylvia Burton from Italy.
And that concludes our second round of squats, with now Georgia Burton leading the squats with 202.5. Bright in silver with 200, above of Bouchou on body weight, also with 200 kilos. We head now into our third and final round of squats, and Elsa Solman-Paulsen, now with a proper rest in between, is looking to jump 5 kilos and match her personal best. One of the 2 options I think we discussed she may take.
Double the rest, double the speed. We'll see. Maybe not double the speed, but a great squat grind from Elsa Solman-Paulsen.
That is an incredible final attempt. 3 white lights, a good lift, and so well earned after a bit of a mishap on squats, going 3 for 3 in the end.
So well deserved. What a grinder.
Bars loaded, 182.5 kilos. Tasmin Campbell, Great Britain.
Taking a 2.5 kilo jump, Tasmin Campbell from Great Britain to 182.5 to match her personal best. Nobody here at the top is looking to slip up and lose any kilos, as It is so, so close.
Tasman's looking strong. Was that enough to please the referees? Yes, 2-1, a good lift for Tasman. We'll have a look at the replay, but from our side, it looked pretty good. So how about the replay? It does look on the right side of the fence to me.
Yeah, and the jury seem happy with it. 187.5 for Raffaella Jungmann from Austria. Just taking a moment to do her shoelace up. Definitely something you want done before you start squatting.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're looking to take home a new Austrian national record. Her PB currently at 186.5. This would extend that by 1 kilo. 5 kilo jump from her second. Really strong effort there from Jungmann.
And no lift. Unanimous red cards from all three referees on the platform. And I think this one is pretty clear on the replay. Was not deep enough. But great effort nonetheless.
Daria Iskiv from Ukraine seemed to just miss the 190 out of the hole. Very explosive on the way down. Ran out of steam. Coming back out now. Maybe if she can control the bar a little bit more, it may give her an extra bit of help. But does she have the strength today for it is an entirely different question altogether, Alex.
Yeah, I don't think she wanted to dive as fast into the hole as she did during her second attempt. A slight correction to be made for that attempt to go through. Let's go, Daya. It was not here today. She didn't waste any energy trying to fight it. She trusted the spotters and loaders. So she saved some gas, but I think the jump was greedy.
Yeah, I think just a lesson to be learned. She opened quite heavy, and it may just be a case of taking a slightly lighter opener. And as you called it, a 2.5 kilo jump for Horner, 190 for her third attempt for a 2.5 kilo PB.
She's a grinder.
Yeah, and the second, as you said, moved a little bit more towards how a third would usually look, but she has got an incredible grind on her when she needs it.
Let's see it.
Ah, unfortunately not there today, but
She almost had me there.
yeah, me too. I was very close to believing that she was going to push that through, but she got everything she could have out of her squat. It just happened to be on the second instead of the third.
Now back-to-back Dutch lifters on the platform.
Yeah, some big squats coming from the Netherlands. Romy van Vienen from the Netherlands, 190 kilos, 7.5 kilo jump.
This is not an attempt where you want to change your setup, your routine. Do exactly what got you there. And this is what she does. 3 white lights, a good lift for Romy.
Jenna Bouchou, get ready. Bars loaded 192.5 kilos for Marie-Jose van Daal of the Netherlands.
Marie-Jose van Daal of the Netherlands, 192.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump.
And that subtotal is increasing for Marie-Jose van Daal. She's really showing out so far, matching her personal best on her second. Looking to improve by 5 kilos in the race for the podium.
No, just tipped back, I think, there when trying to grind through that.
Yeah, I think this is exactly what happened. We'll have a closer look at what happened now with the replay. I think she tilted backwards right there. A technical issue for Marie-Josée Vandal.
Marta Jenner now 197.5 kilos, 7.5 kilo jump from her second. Looking to stay ahead of Bouchou.
Great third attempt.
Wow, with room left in the tank, but like we said, they're not going to risk anything this early on. If we see a risk, it will be during the third deadlifts.
Especially when the gap in between her and Andorina at the moment is not as big as expected.
No, only 2.5 kilos on prognosis if Bouchou makes his final squat. It seems they did take the 2.5 kilo jump, the same mindset as Chenna, where they just don't want to miss out on any potential kilos.
Yeah, she already hit a personal best of 200 on her second attempt. But 2.5 at the end of this race will make a lot of difference. These are important. It might have looked better than her second attempt.
Here's a good lift, 3 white lights. So she seems very pleased with that. Matching the junior world record is not a small feat whatsoever,
Absolutely.
especially when it looks like that. 2 squats remaining, the first of which we have Jordan Bright, who's already secured the squat bronze, but looking to change the color of that medal. 205 kilos would be a 5 kilo personal best and provisionally move her into gold and at the very least secure her squat silver. Look at that, an incredible final squat from Bright, and 2-1, a good lift. A big support in the crowd from the Irish team there. Let's have a look at that again. She did get a depth call from this side, but I think it looks just the same as her others. And it will remain. She moves into gold position for squats with just one lifter who can take it away from her. Georgia Silva Burton from Italy. 207.5 to move from squat silver back into gold, but gain those extra 5 kilos, crucial for the fight for podium.
And if there's one who's not going to go out without a fight, it is Georgia Silva Burton from Italy, especially in the squat event. 5 kilo PB and a gold medal in the squat event on the line for the Italian.
Wow, and with plenty to, oh,
Surprising.
and just not deep enough. Let's have a look at that again, but that means Ireland's Jordan Bright walks away with squat gold. And I think it is just on the border, unfortunately. Let's have a look at the scoreboard before we head into a short break. In bronze on squat, just behind on bodyweight, we have France's Andorina Bouchou with 202.5. Same weight on the bar, but lighter, we have Georgia Silvia Burton from Italy. And in squat gold, Jordan Bright of Ireland with 205 kilos. We're going to head into a 10-minute break now before bench press. We'll see you then.
just muscle or might. It's the willpower that drives you to fight.
The bench press is the second movement performed in a powerlifting competition. It's a movement that mainly uses upper body strength. A slight back arch is authorized and allows for a stronger and healthier shoulder positioning. Laying down on the bench, the athlete has to create points of contact between his head, shoulder, glutes, and the bench. His feet has to lay flat on the ground, with the heels in the contact with the floor. Once that position is locked, the central referee gives the start command. The lifter lowers the bar until it touches his chest. The lower underside of both of his elbow joints have to be at level or below the top surface of each shoulder joint. He then has to stabilize the bar for the referee to give him the press command. The lifter has to push the bar back up until the complete extension of his elbows. The central referee gives the rack command and the lift is completed.
There are 4 main reasons to have a no lift on that movement. First, if you're not able to fully extend your elbows at the beginning and at the end of the movement. Second, if you don't touch the chest with the bar, or if your elbows don't go at level or below the top of your shoulder joint. Third, if you're not able to maintain all points of contact with the bench, knowing the head, the shoulders, and the butt. Fourth, if the lift isn't completed in a single upward movement.
so.
Didn't she got
The Masters 1 is 142.5.
deadlift.
The European records are 143.5 for open and 100.5 for Masters.
C'est quoi ces modèles?
Let's face it, Chico isn't here, so that's going to be hard to
Norling
push.
should have got it.
should or shouldn't?
I think he should have got that.
So like Sovan,
No, Savan shouldn't have got it.
it was the same. I think both should not have got it.
We think both shouldn't have. Hello and welcome back to the 2025 European Open Classic Powerlifting Championships here in Malaga, Spain. I'm Amelia Potter, joined by Alexander Nordal.
Still here.
We are indeed, after a very exciting squat session. A summary of the 63s here. Casagrande walked away with bronze with 190 and joint with 192.5, separated by body weight. Vidal of Great Britain and Denise of the Netherlands. A very exciting squat session. We can see just as similar in the bench. Very similar benches there at the top between Downs and Denise. And you can see why Denise is nominated so far ahead of the pack when she is just dominating every single lift.
And the thing is, in both weight classes, none of the top contenders missed, and some outsiders showed out. So, still, everything to play for the podium in the two weight classes.
And kicking us off for bench press, we have Clara Holo. And she'll be lifting 85 kilos. 8 kilos below her personal best. Just giving some instructions to the spotter there, how she'd like her handout given. Athletes have the option to self-hand out or take one from the head spotter there. Lovely easy opener there for Clara.
Yep, 3 white lights, a good lift.
Next weight at the bar is 87.5 kilos for Federica Casagrande, Italy, Laline Vidal. Get ready. Bars loaded at 87.5 kilos for Casagrande, Italy.
Federica Casagrande from Italy, 87.5 kilos.
Nice sink. Very efficient.
Really good lift, 3 white lights.
87.5 on the bar for Sai Lalim, Belgium. Vidal, Soto Ruiz. Get ready, bar is loaded. For Lalim, Belgium.
I think it was a case of a lifter that adapted to the new depth rule.
Yeah, absolutely. Saila Lim from Belgium, 87.5 kilos.
She's fresh off a new World Master 1 record in the squat events. In the bench press, that World Master 1 record will be quite far, with it being 142.5.
Very controlled bench there from Lalim.
Yeah, pretty solid. 3 white lights. She's on the board. And already only 4 more lifters to open in that 7-athlete group.
Makeda Vidal of Great Britain, 90 kilos. This will automatically catapult her into bench press gold, still with 3 lifters to follow. That's just, obviously we had the B group earlier, so shows the standard of both groups, but particularly this A flight.
Lovely opener.
Very strong. 3 white lights, a good lift.
The more she lifts and the more that subtotal is looking dangerous in the 63 kilo class.
Yeah, like we said, can't sleep on her. Immaculada Soto Ruiz from Spain, 97.5 kilos. Personal best of 105. Another threat for the podium.
She had a phenomenal squat grinder. And a pretty speedy bench opener, but I was worried about elbow depth. 1 red card for Immaculada. So we'll have a look at the replay. I think it was for that right elbow.
Yeah, it will be for that elbow, and we're looking for, I can see why they thought that. Yeah, the elbow needs to be in line or below the shoulder, the joint, but the jury seem happy with it, so won't intervene. Sabrina Downs from Great Britain, 107.5 kilos, our penultimate opening attempt in the 63s. Three white lights, a good lift.
She is lighter than Downs, so this will be provisional gold. A successful exit in the first round.
That moves Downs into provisional gold with Kaylee Sue Denise now to follow as the heaviest opener. Same weight on the bar at a lighter body weight.
And it's pretty rare to see the biggest opener in the bench press and the biggest deadlift opener belonging to the same person. This
Yeah.
just shows why she's the favorite here today.
Well, exactly. She is the leader as it stands in squat, bench, and deadlift. So it's hard to think that she wouldn't be the leader in total.
Three white lights.
3 white lights, a good lift. Everyone's on the board.
Currently leading in bench press, 90 on the bar for round 2. This is Clara Holo of Belgium. Laline Casagrande, get ready.
And with that, we head into the second round of bench press.
Clara from Belgium.
Clara Huller from Belgium, 90 kilos on the bar, a 5 kilo jump from her opener.
A nice handoff. Slower, but not yet a grinder for Clara Olo. 3 white lights, a good lift.
90 on the bar for Sai Lalim of Belgium, bar loaded. For Lalim, Belgium, Casagrande Vidal, get ready.
Sailor Leem from Belgium, 90 kilos, taking a 2.5 kilo jump from her opener. One of these lifters, I think perhaps, that just likes taking these smaller incremental jumps. 2.5 kilos is the smallest jump you can make, but still a significant percentage of these lighter weight women's body weights.
And I think especially in the bench press, sorry, this is a great strategy. 5 kilos makes a lot of difference in the bench press. But it still looks great for Screaming Lean. She seems to be happy with that one. Flexing off the platform.
$92.5 kilos for Federica Casagrande of Italy, a 5 kilo jump from her opener. Just 2.5 kilos below her personal best. A lovely clean second attempt for Casagrande there. And 2-1, a good lift. Just getting called on that elbow depth from the right side referee, so have a look at that in the replay.
She might have synced a bit less, but the replay will tell us all we need.
And I think she's safe with that one.
Yeah, the jury seems to agree.
95 kilos in the bar for Michaela Vidal from Great Britain. A 5 kilo jump from her opener.
Still looking strong for Michaela Vidal.
Yeah, lovely second attempt. I imagine looking to secure those kilos, like we said, and maybe match her personal best on her third, rather than risking it. But we'll have to wait and see. Immaculada Soto Ruiz from Spain, 102.5 kilos, 5 kilo jump for her second.
Nice soft touch.
Still gets that red from the right-hand side referee for elbow depth. So let's look at that in the replay. She was fine last time. Jury didn't touch it. So if it's the same, I imagine it may be the same case. And arguably, I think that's better than her opener.
I think it looked better.
112.5 kilos for Sabrina Downs from Great Britain. A 5 kilo jump. This will move her into bench press gold ahead of Denise. Denise to follow at a lighter body weight.
And would you agree that elbow depth is the most difficult thing to ref, actually, in powerlifting?
I think definitely is difficult to judge. Lovely second attempt there from Downs, and a good lift, 3 white lights. I think it's hard to standardize necessarily, you know, but that seems like a pretty perfect depth. Yeah. If you want to use something in the textbook, I'd use that.
Agreed.
Katie Sue Denise from the Netherlands, 112.5 kilos. This matches her personal best. and moves her back into bench press gold ahead of Downs.
And she's in the lead for a reason.
3 white lights, a good lift, pacing herself very well for that big total.
The lifters feet are slipping. This has been authorised by the jury, so we're just going to clean the platform. Spotters, the Hoover, please.
So we have a look at the current scoreboard for bench press. Immaculada Soto Ruiz of Spain currently in bronze with 102.5. We have Sabrina Downs of Great Britain in silver with 112.5 kilos, and in gold, Kaylee Sue Denise just ahead on body weight. But we still have the third round of benches to come. See where that ends up. We just took a moment there for the spotters and loaders to hoover up the platform a little bit, as agreed on by the jury, to make sure all these lifters have the best opportunity to use their leg drive for that final bench. And I'm just going to take this moment to thank our sponsors: Visit Malta, ESN, Maniac, and SBD. You can see the third attempt on the screen here. Downs jumping further than Denise with 117.5, looking to take away that bench press gold if she can. Also, like we said, fighting for podium, looking to stay strong in silver.
Yeah, that's an aggressive goal, but it made sense judging by her second. It's going to be difficult, but very likely that she gets it. And the cleaning's done. We're going to be back in action in just a few seconds with Clara Olo from Belgium.
Yeah, I imagine we see a lot of these 2.5 kilo jumps utilized. The first of which, Clara Holo, like you said, from Belgium. This is half a kilo below her personal best, and either what currently is or what was at some point, I imagine, a Belgian bench press record.
Great eccentric. And surprisingly fast for a third attempt for Clara Olo.
Yeah, a lovely final bench press, a good lift, 3 white lights.
I think she surprised herself there.
And it's good to come out of bench press feeling confident, feeling strong, heading into deadlifts on a high. 92.5 kilos for Saila Lim from Belgium, looking to match her teammate.
And that looks more like a third attempt, but that looks perfectly fine. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, very well calculated there, and once again skips off the platform with a big smile on her face.
Bar is loaded for Casagrande. 2 attempts to change openers. 2 attempts only to change openers. Vidal, Soto Ruiz.
5 bench presses remaining before we head through to the 69 kilo ladies. Federica Casagrande of Italy, 97.5 kilos, 5 kilo jump, and 2.5 kilo personal best should she make this.
I think she slipped a bit.
Oh, sorry, that's no
That leg
leg,
drive
no
was
leg.
very aggressive, maybe too aggressive for her own good.
Is that what happened? I was wondering, she ran out of steam pretty quickly there. We'll have a look at that in the replay.
Two change openers. The bar is loaded at
Yeah, she slips a bit
97.5
backwards.
kilos.
Not the feet, but the whole back. And no more gas to finish the attempt.
97.5 kilos for Makita Vidal.
The expected jump?
Yeah, this is what I think is safe. It matches her personal best. It seems like it's something that's assured that she has. I think 100 kilos, although would have helped her in the long run, more risky. It's better you gain 2.5 kilos than potentially lose 5.
Quick math.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that was the right call.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Like I said, it does wonders mentally as well to leave bench press knowing you got everything you could have in a successful lift heading into deadlifts, rather than maybe feeling a little disgruntled and missing and overshooting.
Yeah, now she's on 6 for 6 with great momentum.
107.5 kilos for Inmaculada Soto Ruiz from Spain. Already has bench press bronze secured. That won't change this position, but she is chasing podium, so the extra 5 kilos are going to be integral.
It's going to be a tough ask, but if they loaded it, they must be confident.
Yeah, and she has consistently got 1 red for elbow depth, and if it remains that way and the jury don't interfere, she's fine. But if she loses some depth as it's heavier, she might be in trouble.
And I think she might have tried to arch a bit more, but it didn't work in her favor. No lift for Inmaculada.
This will move her further along, keep her in gold medal position provisionally. The bar is loaded at 115 kilos.
2 more bench presses to go in the 63s air flight.
And first out, favourite to win, currently sat in bench press gold, looking to give herself every chance she can to stay there. Kelly Sudenis from the Netherlands, 115 kilos for a new personal best. Not quite there today, unfortunately, which surprises me a little bit. She's been able to push through a lot of tough lifts, but bench really is a different gravy.
Yeah, I agree to surprise with no regrets. She took the smallest jump possible. She took what she had on the day.
Loses out on a couple extra kilos, but she has enough of a lead, I think, to do that. 117.5 kilos for Sabrina Downs of Great Britain, looking to exchange her silver bench press medal for a gold, as well as picking up an extra 5 kilos. Currently sat in silver overall on prognosis.
She hits a new personal best earlier in the squat event, looking to do the same thing in the bench press event. An aggressive jump of 5 kilos from the second to the third. And I think she just loses her rooting in the ground.
Yeah, that is a great catch in the spotters and loaders, because that could have ended a little bit worse. Her feet just came up from under her. You can see as she's pushing through here, pushes with her leg drive and her feet just slip. That's why we have a great spotting loading team, keeping our athletes safe. And that concludes the 63 kilo ladies on their bench press. In bronze, Soto Ruiz with 102.5. In silver, Downs with 112.5. And in gold, Denise also with 112.5, just a slightly lighter body weight. We now head into the 69 kilo ladies for their bench press session. And coming out first, hopefully with the correct opener in on the board, Elsa Sorman Poulsen from Sweden, 95 kilos.
All will be called by Bright van Vianen, Iski, Berton, Bushu, Van Dam, Campbell, and Jenner.
Super easy opener.
Yeah, extremely comfortable there. And it's a good lift, 3 white lights.
The Swedish crew is always so careful with the temp selection, so I was not expecting anything else.
Bar loaded for young man of Austria, 102.5 kilos.
Rafi Jungmann from Austria, 102.5 kilos.
And the last cue her coach gave her is take your time. Bench is really that one lift where you don't want to rush the setup. So many joints involved in the bench press, and every one of them matters. Smooth opener.
Yeah, wow, very, very easy. 3 white lights, a good lift.
102.5 remains on the bar, and the bar is loaded. For Ivana Horner of Slovakia, Bright van Vianen, get ready.
Ivana Horner from Slovakia now, 102.5 kilos. 7.5 kilos below her best.
Pretty unusual to screen during a bench press, but it seems to be working for her. 3 white lights,
Yeah.
a good lift.
A little bit more of a grunt, I guess, than a scream.
I would agree, yeah, it was a grunt.
But
The bar is loaded at 105 kilos. The
yeah,
shoulder
a little strange, but it seems to be working for her.
So in the squat she's a grinder, in the bench she's a grunter.
I guess so. We'll see what she does for deadlifts. Jordan Bright, who walked away with squat gold with 205 kilos. 105 kilos on the bar for her opening attempt.
She was a speedy squatter, is she a speedy bencher? Not as speedy, but still pretty speedy.
It's a nice opener. 3 white lights, a good lift.
bar for Robbie van Vianen, Netherlands. Iski, Berton, get ready, bar is loaded. For Robbie, Netherlands. This will put her into
Maybe a
bench
bit of
press
his groove,
silver
but
position. There's
still a
one
pretty
way to
good
go
opener.
just to gauge things.
Romy van Vienen from the Netherlands, 105 kilos on the bar. 5 kilos below her personal best. In the second round of bench press, all 11 lifters will be benching more than 100 kilos, which is just incredible. Lovely and easy.
Yes, that looks strong.
I remember a time when 100 kilo bench for a female lifter, let alone in the 69s, was pretty rare. Now the whole flight of 11 benching 100 kilos and above in the second round.
Yeah, this lady's setting a whole new standard.
107.5 kilos for Daria Iskiv of Ukraine. Just, I think, got only one of her squats in,
Yep.
so it's a bit of a
Only
heavy
the
opener.
opener.
I'm hoping that this opener is a little bit more comfortable for her, especially as it's bench.
It's not as close to her personal best as a squat opener was. Still not the most easy opener.
3 white lights, a good lift.
I'm not so sure what to make of that one. Was it a technical issue or just a case of strength?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a very upright bench. She presses very upward and straight, but her squat opener was quite near her max, so it could just be the style that they're doing, like we said before. Georgia Silvia Burton from Italy, 107.5 kilos, opening only 2.5 below her personal best.
I know some bench progress happened in training. That was solid.
Yeah, very comfortable, and I think on her second she will not just match but surpass her personal best.
Bar is loaded for Bouchou, 107.5 kilos. Van Daal, Campbell, Cheddar, get ready. Last ball lifts in round 1 for the 69 kilo class.
And Irina Bouchou of France, 107.5 kilos. Unfortunately, the world and European junior record in the 69s belongs to Agata Shitko at 154.
That's quite the standard. Pretty difficult to touch.
But it takes nothing away from how strong Andorina is, especially today.
Yeah, Agata just an anomaly. Otherworldly performance from Agata.
Bar is loaded for Van Daal. This is for provisional gold. To take it away from Akkerson of Sweden from the B group.
Marie-José van Daal from the Netherlands, 112.5 kilos for her opening attempt, opening on her personal best. This would automatically take gold away from Akkerson from Sweden, lifted in the B group with 110.
She does it. 3 white lights, a good lift. Very clean lifting so far from the 69s, with 2 more runners to go.
So the lead is going to change hands at least twice. Bars loaded at 117.5 kilos for Tasman Campbell.
2 bench presses remaining. Tasman and Campbell from Great Britain, 117.5 kilos. Of course, catapults her into bench press gold, with Jenna to follow and second and third attempts after that. So much to change. There's a personal best of 125. And the European Masters 1 record is 125, and I have a feeling that might be Tasman's from last Euros. Wow.
She's on.
And that's a good lift, 3 white lights, and as a threat for podium, she's looking strong in bench press to gain some kilos.
To take provisional gold coming out of the first round. Solman, Youngman, get ready.
Marta Chenna from Norway with 120 kilos with a PB of 130.
It's pretty rare to see as many lifters in one flight using belts during the bench press.
Yeah, usually it helps the lifter brace same way as it would in squat and deadlift, just in a bit of a different fashion. Nice and smooth there for Marta.
Pretty easy. 3 white lights and a good
Yeah,
lift for
I
Jenna,
might
and
start
she
wearing
walks
the
out
belt.
leading to gold. Round 2, 100 on the bar. Elsa Sorman, also
Everyone's on the board for the
Young man,
69
Horner,
kilo
get ready.
class.
Bar loaded, 100 kilos.
And we head now
Elsa
to the
Sorman, 1000
second round of
freelance.
bench press. All 3 medals have been taken over by those from the A group. Elsa Solman Poulsen jumping 5 kilos to 100 kilos. It's a very comfortable second attempt.
Yep, it still looks very comfortable.
3 white lights, a good lift, and plenty left in the tank for that third attempt.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if she added 5 more kilos onto that.
That seems completely justifiable for me. Effi Jungmann from Austria, 107.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump.
Still looking really good for the Austrian. 3 white lights, a solid second attempt. But on this one, it is harder to judge whether you would add 2.5 or 5 kilos.
Vanna Horner, 107.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from her opener.
All forged up to try and grab a second attempt in the bench press. And the grunter returns.
And it works once again. 3 white lights, a good lift. Imagine to see another 2.5 kilo jump there for
Right, and Van Vianen, get ready. Bar loaded at 110 kilos for Iski, Ukraine.
If she can maintain that left wrist position, it should be there, but it's going to be hard.
Daria Iskiv from Ukraine, taking that 2.5 kilo jump to 110. Like you said, the press seemed a little bit hard on her opener. You weren't sure whether it was strength or position, and I suppose we'll find out very shortly. But they're taking a similar route that they did with their squat, so it could very well just be that. That's a great grind.
She gets her second attempt. 3 white lights with not much room to roam now for the third.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, it's clear they'll take a 2.5 kilo jump, but that seemed pretty much a limit lift to me.
I really like the support from the Irish crew. They bring so much energy on and off the platform.
110 kilos now for Jordan Bright, just 2 kilos below her personal best and national record in Ireland. Ah, that's beautiful.
And I get the woos because this one was fast.
Yeah, looks really strong. Now the question is 2.5 or 5, because in terms of strength, she looks good for 5, but it's a long day and she's going to want to collect all the kilos she can. But I can see the justification for both, and I've seen the 5 go in, which I think is fair enough, Alex.
Yeah, I would agree. Fair's on the line. She's not risking anything. She's not in the race for first position or anything, so why not?
You say that she could be in the race for podium, only 10
Yeah,
kilos
podium.
behind third at the moment, so we'll see. Those 5 kilos will certainly help. Romy van Vienen from the Netherlands, 110 kilos.
Just like that.
Yeah, plenty left in the tank for Romy. 3 white lights, a good lift. Seems pleasantly surprised with herself.
She makes a great job of stabilizing the bar pretty quickly to receive a nice press command. That helps.
Certainly does. Georgia Sylvia Burton, 112.5 kilos. Speed 2.5 kilo. Personal best for Georgia should she make it.
Great second attempt from the Italian. 3 white lights, a good lift. And now really neck and neck with Andorina Bouchou.
Yeah, I mean, the lifts are close in separate disciplines, but just overall, those top 7 or 8, like we said, most of this flight are in contention of some sort of position. Andorina Bouchou of France, 112.5 kilos, very much in the race, not just for podium, but for overall with Chenna. I think probably closer than Team Norway thought France would be.
That would be a surprise, grabbing a title in her first year as an open. And she might have improved her bench press. 3 white lights for what was a match personal best for Andorina Bouchou.
Yeah, she seems on a very good form today. Very dangerous for Marta Jenner.
We'll see what the strategy is there, because we've mentioned lifters taking 2.5 to be conservative, some 5 to create more of a case for themselves in the race for the podium. I'm thinking about Jordan Bright here. Interesting, we'll follow that.
Marijoos van Dal from the Netherlands, 117.5 kilos to take her from bench press bronze into silver for the time being, with Campbell and Chenna to follow.
Oh, she's not one to be overlooked. Marie-Josée Vandal, 3 white lights for a second attempt.
And moves into that silver position for the time being.
Things are going well for the Dutch, even after missing her third squat.
Tasmin Campbell jumps to 122.5 kilos. 5 kilo jump from her opener. This will move her into provisional bench press gold with Chenna to follow. Ah.
What can you say? She's looking good, so technically sound. 5 for 5 in the competition.
Yeah, and it seems to be a case of all the lifters are so aware that it is a tight race and they're going to have to make every single attempt, like we said from the first squat. 127.5 kilos for Marta Jenner from Norway. 7.5 kilo jump to take her back into bench press gold, ahead of Campbell heading into the 3rd round.
The fun fact here, Campbell and Chenna have weighed in exactly the same.
Should Chenna make this, she will secure the bench press gold regardless of how her 3rd goes, as Campbell is put in for a 125 3rd attempt.
It moves well for a 7.5 kilo jump.
Yeah, absolutely, and she secures that bench press gold as well as the 7.5 extra kilos. She's going to be looking to stay ahead of Bouchou, and with room left in the tank, maybe even a 5 kilo jump is justified there.
Agreed. And with that bench, is creating a gap.
Let's see if she can hold on to it. We head into the third and final round of bench with Chenna leading on 127.5. She'll stay in bench press gold. Campbell with 122.5. And in bronze currently, Van Dau. It looks like Campbell has secured the silver with the 122. Elsa Solman Paulsen, 105 kilos.
Scarpia has a third, but 3 white lights, a good lift.
Next weight on the bar is 110 for Rafaela Jungmann of Austria. Horner, Iskid, get ready, bar
6 for
loaded
6
for
so
Jungmann
far
of
for the
Austria.
Swedish. Even after an eventful squat session.
Effie Jungmann from Austria taking a 2.5 kilo jump to 110 for her third and final attempt.
Unfortunately, no lifts or bench isn't on today. She was quite far off of her personal best of 113.5. No lift with 110.
And the bar is loaded for Horner at 110. Iskid, Van Vianen, get ready.
Ivana Horner, 110 kilos, as suspected, taking that 2.5 kilo jump from her second to match her personal best. Yeah, and I think she just got everything she could have out of that second attempt.
Yeah, as expected, it was going to be a very tough ask, trying to squeeze out one more attempt in the bench press.
Loaded. This is your provisional 5th in bench press for Iskid of Ukraine.
Yeah, there's no breakdown of technique. It was just a bit of a strength issue on the day-to-day.
Here she comes. Dawaj, dawaj, dawaj.
Daria Iskiv from Ukraine taking a 2.5 kilo jump to 112.5.
This one was also going to be hard, but still she's had a better bench press event than her squats, but she's now 3 for 6 in the competition. If the trend keeps on going, she'll be 3 for 3 in the deadlift.
And that's what we're hoping for. 112.5 kilos for Romy van Veen from the Netherlands. A 2.5 kilo jump for a new personal best. Last 3 lifters haven't made their third attempt. We're hoping that can change.
Three white lights, a good lift. 3 for 3 and a new personal best.
Right, and that's on, get ready. Bar is loaded. For Bouchot, France, 115 kilos. Provisional 4th place.
And Irina Bouchou of France jumping 2.5 kilos, which is well worth doing. If she gets this, she is 10 kilos, 7.5 kilos behind Chenna going into deadlifts. And obviously if she misses, that extends to 10, which is a slightly harder gap to fill.
Yeah, it could already very much be a pivotal attempt for Irina Bouchou.
That looks
How
good.
about that for a third?
Yeah, I would have been very, very surprised if she hadn't got that based on her second. A good lift, 3 white lights, looking strong.
Yeah, I mean, if that's a personal best, she had more. She for sure had more. And you hear the noise of the Irish crew?
And here comes Jordan Bright from Ireland, 115 kilos for a 3 kilo personal best and a new Irish bench record. That is a great fight from Jordan.
Looks like she brought the best version of herself on the platform. 3 white lights and a new personal best. So an Irish record.
Yeah, absolutely. A good lift. Currently 6 for 6. Fantastic effort there.
Let's see what she has in store in the deadlift.
4 benches remaining. Georgia Silva Burton, 117.5 kilos. Not quite there, unfortunately. Loses out on 5 kilos.
Yeah, that
Wondering-
aggressive jump might cost her in the long run.
I was going to say that might hurt. It's so close to the top. Instead of gaining a safe 2.5 kilos, they did risk it, and it would have really helped if she got it, but that's the risk.
Yeah, it opens the door for Jordan, possibly for Jordan.
Now have Mary Joseph van Daal from the Netherlands, 120 kilos, a 2.5 kilo jump. Already has bench press bronze secured. You already know the order of the medals, but all these lifters looking for the extra kilos as they are all in the running for that podium.
And when the competition started, she was forecasting 7th. She's now 4th. I think she lost it at the bottom here.
Yeah, and she got everything she could have out of the bench press. She jumped the minimum she could, so she knows that that was her absolute limit today. No ifs and buts. If she jumped 5 and missed it, she could have asked herself, what if?
Exactly. So 4th and 6th, and still forecasted 4th at the moment.
Tasmin Campbell looking to match what I believe is her own European M1 bench press record of 125 here, jumping 2.5 kilos, taking the sensible decision like we were just talking about, trying to secure those extra kilos instead of risking for more.
Especially in our position. Forecasted to be on the podium as we speak. And even though she might have had 2.5 more, I still believe that was the right call.
Yeah, I absolutely think that was the right call. Because it's a toss-up, you know, if there was 5 or not. I think 2.5 was absolutely the right thing to do.
Last bench press.
Yes, last bench press of the day. Marta Jenner, 132.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump for a 2.5 kilo personal best. Now, this will keep her ahead of Bouchou, but if she misses it going into deadlifts, I believe she might be just behind Bouchou, or at least that much closer, 2.5 kilos perhaps separating them. But this is not a weight she's successfully done on the platform before, but she is looking very, very strong based off that second.
A personal best to re-establish her as the clear favorite. Oh, it is not there.
And that, again, choice might hurt her, as now going into deadlifts, only 2.5 kilos separates her and Bouchou.
Yeah, that makes for an interesting deadlift battle.
Absolutely, and then 10 kilos separating Campbell and Chenna, so it's getting a lot closer now. And as you can see, Chenna walking away with bench press gold, Campbell in silver, and Van Douw in bronze. We're going to head into a 10-minute break now before deadlift. See who walks away European champion. We'll see you then. A good lift, 3 white lights for Coco, which puts him right in the running up there with Stagakis and Norling, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people talking about Norling versus Stagakis heading into this, so how does it feel to kind of put your name back in the ring?
I think people just always try to, predict what will happen based on what you see in training, which doesn't necessarily translate to what you will do. And in the end, what matters is the platform, so I'm happy with what happened.
You are very much in a fight for the podium. This is not the time to try and bite more than you can chew.
Today, so if you saw, when I pulled 350, I think I was at 895, which was the total I did like 5 times. And I was like, okay, I need to stop that curse. So, I was like, I have to pull this. I had the potential to do it, but then you need to execute. And that's the thing I always had trouble to do. And I think today was better.
375 kilos. He didn't come out for the 370.
Redemption on the line for Corentin Clément. All or nothing.
And he locks it out. That looks like a good lift to me. And 2-1 it is. Your new European champion.
Powerlifting is my whole life, so having finally a real title in the Open is of course really important for me, and it's a nice way to start the season. And then I'm looking forward to World and see what I can do. I'll just try to do my best squat, my best bench, see what I can do on the lift, and if there is a place to go for it, then I'll for sure try to do it.
The deadlift is the last movement of the powerlifting competition. On that movement, the lifter's whole body is used and put to the test. The athlete approaches the bar once the central referee calls bar loaded. He then has 1 minute to start the lift. In the conventional or sumo position, the athlete has to pull the barbell until his shoulders, hips, and knees are fully locked. Once that position is assumed by the lifter, the central referee will give the down command. The bar has to be lowered to the ground without the lifter being allowed to drop it until it touches the floor, which completes the lift. At the end of deadlift, the powerlifting total is made, which determines the winner and final placings. There are 4 main mistakes to avoid. First, not locking your shoulders, hips, or knees at the end of the movement. Second, not completing the lift with a single upward bar movement. Third, completing the lift hitching at the legs in order to allow you to do so. Fourth, dropping the bar after the central referee down command.
Hello and welcome back to the 2025 European Open Classic Powerlifting Championships in Malaga, Spain. I'm Emilia Potter, joined by Alexander Nordin.
Still here, very much looking forward to that deadlift session. We had a crazy squat session, a crazy bench session. Surely it will be the case for the deadlift. The running order for the 63 kilo class is 165 to 200. Only 7 athletes. It's going to be a fast-paced deadlift, and the first lifter is already on the platform. Federica Casagrande from Italy. 165 is 15 kilos away of her personal best of 180.
Nice easy opener there, Federica.
170 on the bar, Clara Hollow, Belgium. Lalim, down, get ready, bar is loaded. A 170 for Hollow, Belgium.
Now on the platform is Clara Olo from Belgium, opening 170, also 15 kilos away of her personal best of 185. An aggressive slack pull for that first attempt. And 3 white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, all of our openers have looked very, very confident.
This is really what you expect out of elite lifters. And back-to-back Belgians on the platform.
Yeah, we have Saila Leem, 187.5 kilos. I'm sure soon we'll see where she gets her nickname, Sai the Scream Lalim.
There you have it. Three white lights, solid opener.
That's a good lift. 3 white lights to Sai.
And I'm sure this flight will move very, very quickly. 7 lifters, but deadlift's always a little bit faster, particularly than bench.
Yeah, it might make for like 5 minutes of rest for each lifters.
Yeah, if even that. Sabrina Downs up next from Great Britain with 190 kilos. Very easy looking opener for Downs.
She secures the total and now enters the race for the podium.
Next weight on the bar remains a 190. 190 for Makeda Vidal, also Great Britain. The bar is loaded for Vidal. Great Britain.
Makeda Vidal from Great Britain, 190 kilos. Currently favourite for silver overall. Very snappy.
Sticky at the bottom, but not so bad.
Yeah, and I think that just might be the way that she pulls. We'll have her see as she goes on throughout the lifts, but
She has a unconventional conventional.
yes, you definitely could say that. Kelly Sue Denise from the Netherlands, 200 kilos on the bar.
Already.
Yeah.
Already in the 200s.
And still with another lifter to follow for her opening attempt. Three white lights, a good lift. Very comfortable there.
Bar is loaded. The Soto Ruiz is the provisional deadlift silver. Overall fourth place.
Inmaculada Soto Ruiz from Spain, our final opener. And joint heaviest, 200 kilos on the bar. Only 10 kilos below her personal best. Like we said, looking forward to hope. One of the top few may fall behind and she can slip in there.
Wow, snappy sumo. Impressive.
Yeah. Something we've sort of got used to with some of the Spanish lifters is that almost tempoed sumo at the start with that extremely explosive lockout.
So Spain might be the country of speed then.
Could be.
Snappy Spain.
Federica Casagrande taking a 10 kilo jump to 175 for her second attempt, leaving her just 5 kilos shy of her personal best here in her second. Slow and steady. It wasn't the snappy lockout we saw from Soto Ruiz, but as long as she keeps the bar moving, it was still very clean.
Yes, it looks like she has more. Pacing towards her personal best.
Clara Holler from Belgium taking a 10 kilo jump to 180.
That looks just about right for a second attempt. 3 white lights, a good lift.
200 on the bar. Sabrina Downs, the Great Britain. Vidal, Laline, get ready. Bar is loaded for Downs of Great Britain.
And back in the 200s we go.
Yes, and I imagine we'll stay there for a while. 200 kilos for Sabrina Downs of Great Britain, a 10 kilo jump. I'm sure these numbers will jump around quite a bit, but this pull will take her into deadlift bronze and silver overall for the time being.
Oh yeah.
3 white lights, a good lift, and as soon as she put it down, she said it was good.
He was indeed.
If the referees don't tell you, you tell them.
Look at me. It was good. I promise.
Hey, speak it into existence. It was a lovely second attempt.
Sometimes you have to sell the lift.
And like I said, that pulled her into silver overall, but we're only halfway through the second attempt, so that just shows you how much that might move around as we move forward. Just getting the bar wiped down there for Vidal. This is an attempt just 2.5 kilos below her personal best, and she'll be fighting for that silver position as well. And if Denise at all messes up, I'm sure her or Downs will be pushing for that gold.
And in the meantime, we can see Makeda Vidal get in the zone for that deadlift.
Yeah.
Deadlift is really one of those lifts that get a lot of emotion out of the lifters.
Yeah, a lot of the time there's a lot more riding on the deadlift. It's the end of the day. It's pulling for position a lot of the time. 200 kilos now for Makeda. 10 kilo jump.
It's faster from the bottom.
I think that generally just is her style, you know, a bit of a snappier lockout on her conventional.
Yeah, but it was faster than the opener from the ground. So I figured she's looking strong now. Technique's looking better. Yep, that was great.
We now have Sai Lalim from Belgium, 200 kilos, and this is for a European M1 total record. We'll give her a total of 475, the record currently standing at 470. The World Masters 1 deadlift record at 207.5, so maybe that's what she'll be chasing afterwards.
Might be the case.
But first, let's see how this moves for a new European total record in the Masters 1 category.
Very convincing second attempt. 2-1, a good lift. So a new European Master 1 total record. Could you make a case for that yellow light here?
Yeah, I was confused, and I'm wondering if the referee accidentally pressed that.
No, I think I saw what that was for. She dropped the bar at the bottom.
Okay, I saw him put his hands up and I assumed it was a sorry, that was a mistake, but actually maybe it was for letting go the bar. My sign language is so strong.
It was very subtle, but she surely did.
I think the jury happy that it was on the ground before she opened her hands. We now have our penultimate second attempt before we move through to the third and final round to see that fight for position. Kaylee Sudanese from the Netherlands, it's hers to lose. 207.5 kilos. Just needs to pace herself to get just out of reach of Vidal and Downs. 207.5, a matched personal best.
She's looking really strong.
Yeah, like we said, hers to lose. It's a good lift.
212.5 on the bar for Inmaculada Soto Ruiz of España. If successful, this is provisional gold in deadlift.
And she is going to be pretty difficult, nigh impossible to catch now. Inmaculada Soto Ruiz from Spain, 212.5 kilos, our final second attempt. This moves her into deadlift gold from bronze, heading into the third and final round.
Show us your speed once more. A lack of grip at lockout. That right hand giving up on the bar. It started to be speedy, but that right hand just gave up.
Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, just actually, it seems like both popped out at the same time. And I think that may put her out of the shot unless she goes up for potential podium. Federica Casagrande from Italy now on to third attempts, 182.5 kilos for a 2.5 kilo personal best.
You mentioned she could be pacing for one. She's now has loaded it, pulling it.
That's a lovely third attempt from Federica Casagrande.
Well, she's definitely happy about that. 187.5 on the bar for Clara Hallo of Belgium. 3 attempts to change openers. Downs Laline, get ready.
And you can see here where the deadlifts stand. Denise currently in deadlift gold with 207.5. Following 4 lifters all joint with 200. Vidal ahead on body weight ahead of Soto Ruiz. We continue the deadlift. Thirds now. Clara Holo from Belgium, 187.5 kilos. For a 2.5 kilo personal best.
Both in deadlifts and in total.
Yes. The big final pull for Clara then.
Almost there, but not today for Clara. It was maybe 1% too heavy for her to lock it out. She managed a 3 for 3 in the squat, 3 for 3 in the bench press, and 2 for 3 in the deadlift event.
Now 5 integral pulls to come, the first of which is Sabrina Downs of Great Britain, a 5 kilo jump. Not only will this take her into deadlift silver from off of the podium, subject to change with 4 lifters to follow, but for the time being, this will take her into silver overall, ahead of Vidal, her teammate, from bronze.
And you just have to love that attitude and the switch on, smiling through the crowd. She hears bars loaded, and now she screams, looking determined to pull her last attempt.
Yeah, not only looking to pull into that silver, but protect the podium from Lalim as well. As well as Soto Ruiz. Let's see if she can pull into silver. Oh, and that is a lovely final pull from Downs. Good lift, 3 white lights, pulls into silver, and we see an attempt change from Lalim, I believe. Yeah. Oh, no, Makeda has dropped to 205. Looking to pull for silver instead of push for gold, as Denise is just too far away.
Not so surprising then. Dropping to 205 from 200.
Yeah, and she saw what Downs did. She had the advantage of pulling after her. She's looking just to match her deadlift at a lighter body weight, and just to beat her total by 2.5 kilos. 205 kilos on the bar for Makeda Vidal of Great Britain to pull herself into deadlift silver for the time being, but more importantly, to secure that silver overall.
Her second attempt was lovely. Time for the third.
There we go, that nice snappy lockout. And it is a good lift, 3 white lights. She moves into silver.
She's done her part.
And that looks like the podium is pretty safe unless Soto Ruiz goes for a Hail Mary with her final pull. And I have seen Team Spain go over to the board, but before then, we have Sai Lalim from Belgium, 210 kilos. This is for a world M1 deadlift record, as well as a European M1 total record for Lalim from Belgium, 210 kilos.
The scream, Lalim. It's time.
And it's
the
just
hips kick back.
Yeah, not there today, a little too heavy.
She still walks away with a new European Master World record in the squad events and in total.
Yeah, absolutely.
Two great achievements, but that class was tight.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a record. It's the best anyone's ever done. And she was just looking to extend that, which would have been an even bigger feat. 2 deadlifts remaining in the 63s, first of which is your European champion, Kaylee Sue Denise. 215 kilos. This would give her a 520 total. 7 kilo increase in her personal best. Huge final pull. She is your European champion regardless of what happens. But to end the day strong. No, just not there, but hopefully not too disappointed, as she is your 2025 European champion.
When you mentioned a Hail Mary, I think we're going to see one, Amelia.
Yeah, and it will be. I mean, she lost grip on 212.5. In terms of strength, 10 more kilos isn't necessarily a huge ask, but a lot of people argue that grip is a part of strength.
Absolutely, it is surely a strong limiting factor. It was for Immaculada during a second attempt,
And
adding 10 more kilos onto that.
Yeah,
It's going to require a lot of grip strength.
yeah, you're absolutely right. It is a whole different side of strength. Immaculada Soto Ruiz pulling for deadlift gold, but also to pull onto the podium, more importantly, into bronze ahead of Sabrina Downs of Great Britain. And it just looks too heavy. It was, in fact, a Hail Mary, but a great effort.
She looks to be in great spirits after attempting this.
Yeah, I think she probably knew that was a bit of an ask for herself. And that concludes the 63 kilo category. In deadlift in bronze, on bodyweight behind, we have Sabrina Downs from Great Britain with 205. At the same weight but lighter, Michaela Vidal from Great Britain. And in gold, Kaylee Sue Denis from the Netherlands with 207.5. And overall, with 492.5, Sabrina Downs of Great Britain, 2.5 kilos ahead. We have Great Britain's Michaela Vidal, and your new European champion with 512.5, Kaylee Sue Denis from the Netherlands. We now head into the 69 kilo class where we are in for a bloodbath, ladies and gentlemen. Elsa Sorman Paulsen kicking us off with 182.5.
And with the largest sumo you can hope for, Elsa Solman Paulsen opening with 182.5. Quite far over personal best of 206. And you can see that that was pretty easy and comfortable for the Swedish.
Already we've seen 3 openers change, so the games begin even before the first deadlift. Rafi Youngman from Austria, 185 kilos.
In that case of openers, I think it was a case of having the upper hand on your opposition with Georgia Silvia and Honorina Bouchou. We'll see that later on, but for now, Rafaela making easy work of 185.
And manages to secure her total. Can breathe a sigh of relief there. She can push into her second and third attempts. Lomi van Vienen from the Netherlands, 185 kilos. Just deciding where she would like to pull from on the platform.
Looking good. Looking really good. 3 white lights for the Dutch.
Get ready, bar loaded for Bright of Ireland.
And a huge roar from the crowd for Jordan Bright from Ireland, 187.5 kilos. Having a phenomenal day so far, walking away with squat gold and a new personal best on both squat and bench.
Pretty easy opener for Jordan Bright.
Looking good.
Is she looking at a new personal best also in the deadlift event?
And I imagine if that's the case, total must follow.
Absolutely.
At 190 kilos.
190 kilos with Daria Iskiv from Ukraine, 10 kilos below her personal best, and I'm wondering if it's a similar story to squat and bench where she's opening closer to her max and trying to edge from there.
Seems to be the case.
But she secures the total, so she can relax a little bit now push that as far as she can into her second and thirds. Hopefully able to get all 3 attempts this time round.
Bars loaded at 205 kilos for Jenna of Norway.
Jenna from Norway, 205 kilos.
And this one's interesting because based on opener, Jenna, Bushu, and Berton will all three have a 530 kilo total.
Yeah, we saw Burton and Bishu both up their openers, and that means they are neck and neck with Chenna.
And Berton is the lightest on body weight, but Chenna has the lot number for the final pool.
And that was a very easy opener. She has the lot number for the final pool, though currently opening lighter than the other two, so that might not matter. But I expect to see a decent sized jump from Chenna there. $210 kilos for Marie-Jose Van Douw.
And we know she's a deadlift machine. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, very, very speedy there.
Get ready, bar is loaded. Campbell, Great Britain. This is for provisional deadlift bronze. First person to
Tasman Campbell of Great Britain, 212.5 kilos.
resides with Lurashi of Switzerland.
This pulls her into silver overall for the time being. Of course, we have Bushu and Burton to follow. Currently in prognosis 10 kilos behind the top three, who are matched on total.
Solid opener, 3 white lights.
212.5 and above, Andorina Bushu of France. Hold it, Nathan, get ready. Bar loaded at 212.5 kilos for Bushu of France.
And Irina Bushu of France, 212.5 kilos. Up to her opener, becoming a bit of a classic French style there.
And can she beat the odds and beat the nominations here today? 3 white lights from Andorina Bushu. You've mentioned it was going to be a dogfight. It is going down right in front of our eyes. We're in for a good one, Emilia.
Oh, 100%. We knew it was going to be tight, like we said, but with some changes to the openers, as we would have expected, but we wouldn't know who and in what direction. It is even closer than we may have anticipated. Vanna Horner from Slovakia, 215 kilos. What it does do, though, is it potentially takes some names out of the race somewhat. What was a 6 or 7 person race now seeming more like a 3 or 4 person race.
That was a pretty good opener. 3 white lights.
Yeah, fantastic. 215 is a huge opening attempt.
I think it was the easiest of our 3 openers.
The bar is loaded. The Marathon of Italy. This is for provisional deadlift silver and overall lead. The Marathon of Italy.
Our heaviest opener now joint, of course, with Horner. Georgia Sylvia Burton, 215 kilos.
Heaviest opener for the lightest, 66 kilos on the scale. 469, that is not heavy at all. She has time to fill up that class. She's only 24 years old.
Wow. And she'll be right there to collect if any of those top 3 push each other a little too hard. Currently 10 kilos behind the prognosis. Burton very much one of the top 3 fighting for that crown. Melanie Wirtz from the B group still holding on to that deadlift gold with 225. But we have some huge deadlifts coming up in the second attempt that will knock her off of that. With 3 lifters looking to take 225 for their second attempt. Raffaele Jungmann from Austria, 192.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump.
That was more work, but 3 white lights, a good lift for the Austrian.
195 now for Elsa Solman Alsen of Sweden. Iski van Vianen, get ready. Bar loaded at 195 kilos for Solman Alsen of Sweden.
Elsa Solman Paulsen from Sweden, 195 kilos. 12.5 kilo jump from her opener.
And with only their openers in, we can already see the 69 climbing the ladders of best lifters. Already in 6th position, Georgia Silvia Berton, followed by Marta Chiana and Andorina Boujou. A side quest to follow.
Tough off of the floor, but sticks with it really nicely. And it is a good lift.
And that personal best of 206 might not be in the cards for her today. Or that would be another worldly grind.
Daria Iskiv from Ukraine, a 7.5 kilo jump from her opener. Opener was a little bit sticky, but she tends to open quite close to her top end and push from there.
Three white lights, a good lift. Remember, she went 1 for 3, then 2 for 3. Now she's 2 for 2, hoping to make it 3 for 3 in the deadlift event.
Yeah, she's on good track for it. Romy van Vienen from the Netherlands, 197.5 kilos, matching her current deadlift personal best. 12.5 kilo jump from her opener. It's a lovely looking second attempt for Van Vienen.
She keeps on looking strong. We're yet to see her struggle, really.
Now 200 kilos in the bar for Jordan Bright, again looking to match her personal best on her second attempt. 12.5 kilo jump from her opener, which looked pretty comfortable.
Absolutely, the opener was lightning fast for Jordan Bright.
Just making sure she has complete grip. Some support from the Irish team there. And just loses grip there, unfortunately.
And is that a usual problem for Jordan Bright?
It's hard to say. Usually she is a little slower towards lockout, and she normally can pull through it, but once your grip starts to go, there's not much you can really do there. Hopefully she can pack her hands with chalk and come back for that on the third. Marie-Jose van Daal from the Netherlands, 217.5 kilos. 7.5 kilo jump.
It's not that big of a jump for her. I think she might be saving some gas for the third attempt. Yeah, that was quite easy. That was quite easy for Marie-Jose van Daal at 3 white lights. A good lift.
Next weight on the bar is 220 for Marta Chiana of Norway. Bushu, Horner, get ready. Bars loaded at 220 kilos for Marta Chiana of Norway. This is for provisional deadlift silver and moves her into
Marta Chiana from Norway jumping 15 kilos to 220 for her second attempt. Pulls her back into gold overall, still with Bouchou and Burton to follow. It is neck and neck. As we said, Burton the lightest of the three. Bouchou the heaviest.
Impressive. Impressive second attempt. 3 white lights, a good lift. Back in the lead for Martiana.
Campbell, get ready, bar is loaded. For Bouchou, this is for provisional silver in deadlift and total.
Now, junior lifter Anderina Bouchou from France, looking to jump 10 kilos to 222.5. Provisionally will take her into deadlift silver and silver overall, ahead of Burton. And it's very comfortable.
That looks like a second attempt should. 3 white lights for Bouchou. And I'm not really interested to see what Ticket is put in. We're going to see a lot of attempt changes in the third round of deadlifts.
Absolutely. It really is so close. I think Martiana is doing a very good job of trying to make the gap as large as possible with that 15 kilo jump. 225 kilos is loaded on the bar for the next 3 lifters before we head through to the third and final round. Should they all be successful, they will automatically take gold, silver and bronze in the deadlifts heading into the third round. Ivana Horner, the first lifter to take 225.
That was a great attempt. 3 white lights, a successful 10 kilo jump for Ivana Horner. The 4 red plates in competition really do look good on a bar.
Yeah, it is a huge amount of weight. 175 is a milestone already. To get an extra red plate each side is incredible.
Bar is loaded, 225 kilos.
Georgia Silvia Burton from Italy now, 225 kilos. The lightest of the 3 lifters to take this weight, as well as the lightest of the top 3 lifters fighting for position. Very interested to see how this moves. Takes her into silver overall, heading into the third attempt. Into deadlift gold, where she'll stay until third attempts. Oh, now that throws a spanner in the works, because not only may she not be able to keep up with the top 2, she could be in danger of being pushed. It would be a bit of a Hail Mary. But if she can't get another deadlift in, Van Dau would just need to put an extra 2.5 kilos on her final pull. Final second attempt now, Tasmin Campbell from Great Britain, 225 kilos, 12.5 kilo jump. This pulls her into bronze deadlift provisionally and bronze overall provisionally. Both her and Van Dau could push Burton if she can't get another lift in.
Three white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, and it was pretty comfortable.
It was pretty fast up the ground.
As you can see here, the top 3 deadlifts, all 225 kilos. One still hanging on from the B group, Melanie Wirtz from Germany. We head into the third and final round of deadlifts, where we will find out who will walk away European champion. It is neck and neck. 197.5 kilos for Raffaella Jungmann from Austria.
Great third attempt. 3 white lights, 3 for 3 in the deadlift event. It makes for a 487.5 kilo total for those 3 ends.
Also looking for a 487.5 total, we have Elsa Sorman Poulsen from Sweden, and to do so she'll need a 200 kilo pull, 5 kilo jump from her second.
Come on, last bull is a 5 kilo jump.
No, unfortunately not there.
She seems to be in good spirit after that one stake glued to the ground.
I think when you know it perhaps is unlikely to go up, you try anyway, but you relinquish the fact that you don't get the lift.
I think she knows she did her best today, so no regrets whatsoever.
Now, in great spirits as well, Jordan Bright from Ireland, retaking 200 kilos, just lost grip when pulling it. This would leave her with a 520 total, which would be an 8 kilo PB on her total. And the day off strong. Seemed like the strength was there in terms of pulling, but grip just
She
ran
really
out.
needs to secure these ends on the bar. More chalk this time, more baby powder.
Oh, and that looks much better this time round. 3 white lights, a good lift for Jordan Bright of Ireland.
Some very exciting Irish noises.
Taking a few seconds to thank the referees, which is always nice.
Yeah, absolutely, and I believe that also breaks the Irish total record.
Amazing.
8 deadlifts remaining in the 69 kilo category.
2.5 kilos for Daria Iskiv, Ukraine.
Daria Iskiv from Ukraine. 5 kilo jump to 202.5, looking for a 2.5 kilo personal best on deadlift.
And this won't go over the knees. I was not expecting the 5 kilo jump. She took it to try and beat her personal best. Might as well, but it was not here today for the Ukrainian.
Yeah, she loses nothing in terms of position for that, but I think it was a little ambitious.
Yeah, I think ambitious is the correct word here.
If she took different jumps, she might have ended up with the exact same total, just may have felt differently about it.
True.
Romy van Vienen from the Netherlands, 205 kilos for her third and final pull for a personal best on deadlift and on total. She's having a great day so far.
Are we going to see a struggle for once? 7.5 kilo jump for that same amount of a personal best.
Oh, it is a big effort, but just not quite there today. Still walks away with plenty of personal bests today.
Absolutely, she's had a great day. And now I think we are entering the money time. 6 more deadlifts to go. Every one of them is very important.
Absolutely, and every one of them is above 225 kilos, which is absolutely incredible considering you have 6 deadlifts remaining. 227.5 be taken by the next 3 lifters at this stage at least. Subject to change with the temp changes. Van Douw looking to pull into bronze overall for the time being, ahead of Campbell. 227.5 will do that for her, as well as take her into deadlift gold. Oh, and she manages to do it. Keeps it in her hand, and it is a good lift. She pulls herself onto the podium for the time being. What a day she's had.
Wow.
Yeah, and she gave absolutely every kilo she had today.
Oh yeah, great personal best, both in total and in the deadlift event. So now she'll have to win and see what happens with the rest of the opposition. But she's for now on the podium and in the lead in the deadlift event.
227.5 kilos remains in the bar for Giorgia Silvia Burton from Italy. Missed 225 on her second on grip. Went up 2.5 kilos now, looking to pull into silver. She's, I think, relinquished the gold. So pull ahead of Bouchou for the time being, with Bouchou to follow. Can her grip hold on? She lands off of the podium if she does not get this pull. Oh, and she does not get it in a turn of events.
Quite a shocker, I must admit.
Yeah, absolutely. She definitely looked like a healthy favourite. I thought it would come down to the last deadlift, and I suppose it has, but it really is a shame to see grip be the issue that gets her today. Now, two-time European champion Marta Jenner, 227.5 kilos, pulls her into deadlift silver, but just makes her a little bit safer in gold overall. Bouchou, obviously to follow, Team France watching from the sidelines.
Just wants to increase the gap a bit more.
Oh, and it's a strong end to the day for Jenner.
Great job out of Marta. 3 white lights, a good lift.
And looks like she might be a three-peat champion here today.
Such a well-rounded performance. I don't think Team France is going to take a shot at the Norwegian.
No, it seems like a far cry from what we can do today for Bouchou. So it looks like Marta Jenner is your 2025 European powerlifting champion and a three-peat winner.
Well deserved.
Absolutely. But she is looking to stay in silver. If she misses this, she is at risk of that being taken by Tasmin Campbell of Great Britain. And Irina Bouchou of France, 230 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump, moves her into deadlift gold and secures that silver overall.
Wow!
There we go, an incredible final pull from Anderina. And a good lift, 3 white lights. We see an attempt change come in.
That was top end for sure. That was 100% strength and technique. Everything.
I'm just waiting to see on the board.
Who is it going to be?
Imagine, yep, Tasmin Campbell, 232.5. She's dropped looking to secure bronze instead of push for that silver ahead of Bouchou, which I think is a sensible choice here, trying to get ahead of Van Daal, the Dutch lifter. 2 deadlifts remaining here. So we'll move her into deadlift gold for the time being with just Horner to follow. But more importantly, will secure a bronze medal overall at the European Championships.
Yeah, Van Daal has had a great day, making Tasmin Campbell's job way harder than expected to get onto the podium. But 232.5 it is.
And here we go, Tasmin Campbell of Great Britain, 232.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump, looking to take that bronze medal overall and secure at the very least a deadlift silver.
She's already done it in competition. Time to repeat the effort and climb onto the podium.
And it's just not there today for Tasmin.
So Marie-Josée Van Daal makes the podium.
Yeah, it looks like we know our podium finishers. We've not seen any change from Horner. She's not pushing for podium.
from 7th on the nomination to 3rd overall.
Yeah, absolutely incredible day for Van Daal. And one final deadlift remaining. It won't change her position overall from 6th, but it will give her the deadlift gold and a new total PB of 5 kilos. 235 kilos, an absolutely mammoth pull from Ivana Horner of Slovakia.
Squat was grind, bench was grunt, is deadlift gold. We'll see now with Ivana Horner.
Unfortunately not there today, but a great effort nonetheless. And what a fantastic session. We knew it was going to be close. Some upsets, some battles, some changes, everything we'd hoped and dreamed for.
Yeah, it was a real pleasure to catch with you, Amelia. Such a nice flight, amazing performances, interesting storylines.
An amazing session, you are right. In deadlift bronze, we have Cherna with 227.5. In silver, with the same at a lighter body weight, Van Daal. And in deadlift gold, Anderina Bouchou of France. And overall, your bronze medalist in a turn of events, we have Van Daal from the Netherlands with 532.5, just beating Campbell on body weight. Bouchou from France with 547.5 in silver. And Mats Cherna from Norway, your European champion, 552.5. Please stick around for the medal ceremony. We will join you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. for the 76 kilo and 120 kilo B groups. We'll see you then.
also from Great Britain, the silver medal goes to Makeda Vidal. And deadlift gold with 207.5 kilos goes to the Netherlands, Haley Sudanese. The Powerlifting forward. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. And now it is time for the overall. The crown our 63 kilo Open European Champion 2025 in bronze medal position with 492.5 kilos. From Great Britain, it's Sabrina Downs. Overall silver with 495 kilos. It's Great Britain's Makeda Vidal. With me, got your 63 kilo Open European Champion 2025 with a total of 512. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem of the Netherlands.
Laat hem op! Laat hem op!
And just before we send our ladies off the platform and bring out our 69 kilo ladies, we have a couple of special awards to hand out. So there was a category 2 exam yesterday, and I am delighted to say, but I hope he's here, Sandro Eusebio of Portugal has passed category 2. Is he here? He is not. Oh, he is? He is? Here he comes, yeah, sorry. So he is being formally awarded the tie and etc. by EPF Honorary President Arnold Balsam. Well done, Sandro. You do realise, of course, this means more work. And we're not done yet, folks, because today our centre referee took his Cat 1 exam, and I am delighted to say that the EPF and the IPF have a new Category 1 referee. He is from España, he is Javier Ruiz. Congratulations, Javier. And now you're a Cat 1, you do realise this means you can fight to the jury. Not really. Congratulations, Senor. Ladies and gentlemen, please give our 63 kilo ladies a huge round of applause as they follow our television trailer for our platform. Squat silver, also with 202.5 on bodyweight, goes to Italy's Giorgia Silvia Berton. Cover your ears, ladies and gentlemen. Squat gold with 205 kilos goes to Ireland's Jordan Black. Well done, ladies. Thank you. Really close and nice to see. And now to bench press. In bronze medal position with 117.5 kilos in the Netherlands, Marie-José van Daal. Taking bench press silver with 125 kilos, it's Great Britain's Tasmin Campbell. And bench press gold with 127.5 kilos, it's Norway's Marta Jenner. Well done, ladies. Thank you. And now to deadlift. Really close again in bronze medal position. She's only just got back to her seat, but it's with 227.5 kilos. It's Norway's Marta Jenner taking the bronze medal in deadlift. Deadlift silver, also with 227.5 kilos. It's the Netherlands, Marie-José van Daal. Deadlift gold with 230 kilos goes to France's Andorina Bouchou. Thank you, ladies. Great job. Thank you. And now it is time to talk about the overall and to crown our new 69 kilo Open European Champion 2025. In bronze medal position with 532.5 kilos from the Netherlands, Marie-José van Daal. Overall silver medal with 547.5 total, it's France's Andorina Bouchou. Which means for the third European Championships on the trot, that's what we call a hat trick, 552.5 kilos, means that your winner, your 69 kilo Open European Champion 2025, she's from Norway. She is Marta Jenner! Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding once more for the national anthem.